Aloha, welcome. I'm Jeff Cola, your host for Citizens for a Better Way. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for spending some time with us today. You know, Citizens for a Better Way is exactly what our name says. We are citizens looking for a better way. Who out there can't identify with the higher cost of their car? Heck, just the other day it cost me $300 to renew the registration on my Camry. One would think I had like lead in the trunk or something, but the cost was high. Then I read where the water company wants to raise our water bill by 70%. Taxes go up, up, up. No end in sight. So Citizens for a Better Way, a group of individuals got together and we said, you know, there's got to be a better way to afford the things we want that make Hawaii a better place to live, work, and play. Joining me in each of our shows will either be Liz or John Radcliffe, our co-host. But today we have a special guest, a person who I've known for quite some time, and it's really nice to see him. He is definitely an entertainer personified. His history is just rich and, I mean, he's just Mr. Aloha. I like to call him the modern day Mr. Aloha. Joining us at our discussion today with Citizens for a Better Way, say a special aloha to my good friend Kimo Kahohano. Kimo, welcome to the show. It's nice to see you.
Aloha, Jeff, and aloha mai kako. Welcome everyone to a very, very interesting program when it comes to Hawaii.
Well, I'm glad you could join us. I know how busy your schedule is, and of course, joining me, sitting to my right here is John Radcliffe. John co-hosts the show with us, Citizens for a Better Way. And today we thought what we would do is approach the idea of what's happened to Waikiki entertainment. I mean, what are some of the highlights that you can recall back with, you know, heck, I used to go to see live shows in Waikiki all the time. I mean, it seems like there's nothing now.
Well, it's greatly reduced. I think there are still entertainers who are there. However, the budgets have changed over the years because of financial lacking. Because actually the entertainment used to be an amenity for each of those hotels. So that meant that big, beautiful shows could occur. Danny Kalekini at the Kahala Hilton.
Oh, yes.
Ed Kenny, Beverly Noah, Marlene Tsai at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. And throughout Hawaii, we had some special entertainment. Don Ho at the International Marketplace.
A legend. Absolute
yes.
legend.
So we had all of these venues, these big venues, because they were amenities. And then what happened was, as we reached some economic strife throughout the years, they've cut back and cut back and cut back. So our great entertainers are being challenged today, finding a place to entertain. Many of them just have like one night here and one night there instead of real entertainment.
Well, you know, when we talk about entertainment in Waikiki, I would be remiss if I didn't mention one of my all-time favorites is I used to go to the noodle shop and catch Frank De Lima.
Frank De Lima.
I mean, can you imagine a Waikiki without Frank De Lima?
That's where Frank really made his voice. He made his stay there. He brought a lot of entertainers to the noodle shop, and everybody became a part of this wonderful comedy that truly belonged to Hawaii.
You know, I like to say that we've seen a renaissance of Hawaiian music, you know, a couple of times throughout the history in Hawaii. And obviously I saw a part of that in the mid-70s when we had the whole homegrown project at a radio station I was working at, and then, you know, we had so many entertainers and many talents, and a lot of the superstars that are around today either came through that program or the
Nohelani Cipriano.
Yeah, you know, I mean, just amazing.
Major showroom personality. In fact, she's reuniting with Carol Kai and Melvin Lead, and the Divas are going to put on another concert.
Now, I also want to congratulate you because I know how hard you work. Gosh, it seems like a decade now for the very successful TV show Hawaii Stars.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I mean, that's a phenomenal show.
Great stuff to work with Carol, and at the same time to feature our local people, to be able to share in their talents with dignity and respect and aloha.
Now, what was interesting about that show also is you were able to captivate, you know, the talent, the essence of the younger generations as well as some of the older generations, and you put a lot of Hawaii performers on stage. And the sad thing is that unfortunately we didn't have a feeder system, you know, higher up where we, like, if we had an entertainment center in Waikiki that would hire some of these performers.
Well, first of all, let's go back to the entertainment that happened in Waikiki. So the entertainment that happened with the Giants, and let's start with the Giant, Dick Jensen.
Oh.
Okay, here's a local boy.
Farrington High School. Go Govs.
Farrington High School. Go Govs. See him at the Princess Theater, which is no longer.
That's right.
And they're doing the premiere of Ride the Wild Surf. He takes off. He goes to L.A. From L.A. he goes to Las Vegas. He gets all of the smooth stuff that you need to become a refined entertainer in Las Vegas. and then brings that experience back home to Hawaii as a major showroom star.
Absolutely. Just amazing. And you know, if we were to poll 10 people today, you know, if we polled 10 people today and said, would you go back to Waikiki this weekend? You know, the sad thing about our Kama'aina, 9 out of the 10 are going to tell you no, because they said there's nothing to go there for.
Right, right. There's none of that charisma, none of that magic that Don Ho had. And other people like the Society of Seven, who were great. The surfers also went to Las Vegas, took a look at people like Shecky Green and some of the great comedians that happened in Las Vegas. They saw that town. They saw that the best were performing there. They learned a lot, and Alan and Clayton Nalawai came back and made people laugh and at the same time be entertained.
Now I'm going to turn to John for a second, because John, I know you're like the king of studies and data and research, and you know, tourists, tourists come to Hawaii, and you know, they're looking for this. Obviously, they're coming here for a great experience, and they're looking for the sun and the relaxation and things like that. But you know, 12 hours out of the day, we have no sun. So what are some of the surveys show about nighttime entertainment that tourists are looking for? Are we going down the right street here that we need some entertainment?
Oh, sure. I mean, the problem we've had is, as Kimo pointed out, we had a really wonderful opportunity in the 70s, particularly, and then a little bit later on, to have Hawaiian entertainers in Waikiki. There used to be a dozen shows, and people could go all over. I remember, you know, going down to Waikiki and spending time listening to Loyal Garner and that show at the Canoe Hut, and it was a great night. She did that all the time. We had lots and lots of shows that people could go to. There were places to go to see things, and I used to sneak into the Kahala Hilton at night on my way home from work to listen to Danny, you know, sing and stuff. It was just wonderful at that time. But nowadays we got nothing. We used to have 9 movie theaters. There are now none in Waikiki. We used to have you know, dozens of venues for people to do entertainment. None of those, or virtually none of them. We got 1 or 2 once in a while. But mostly right now, people are walking around the streets at night. I mean, they walk up and down, look at the stores, and then they go to bed, I guess.
Well, and John, you know, when you have more people on the streets entertaining than in the showrooms, what does that say about Hawaii?
Yes, if you go down,
that's a good point.
You know, if you go down to Waikiki now, if you went down to Waikiki now and you went into that new beach walk area, which is a very, very beautiful area, you went down there, what you would see, the only place that you can find entertainers is on the street. Hawaii entertainers are standing on the street with an open, you know, guitar box in there, and money, people coming by putting money in it, and that's what we have for Hawaiian entertainment today.
I don't know.
We need venues.
I saw a guy in a gold suit.
Oh, yeah, that too. You could see that.
No, where's the entertainment? But they're getting tips.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Those guys are making money, right?
Well, and it sure as heck is not Hawaiian.
Just goes to show you that, you know,
it's not local at all.
If we had real entertainment in Hawaii, that would be great. But you can't. Those guys are making money in Hawaii because there's nothing else to watch.
Now, obviously, also one of the other components is the convention center, because the convention center, when you're coming out to Hawaii and you're going to do a convention, you're going to want Hawaiian entertainment to be at your convention. Right. I mean, you want Hawaii's entertainers to be there. I mean, where's the next crop of entertainment going to grow and foster if we don't have a specific, you know, entertainment center complex? I mean, the convention center in itself, John, again, I hate to refer to you as the king of studies, but how many conventions do we even have, like, on the drawing board?
Well, this year we've got 10. Next year we are scheduled to have 9. I think that's a total of 45 days of conventions in the entire year.
Wow, so that's not exactly a lot of work for our local entertainers.
The convention center is basically empty almost all of the time. And by the way, costs the state about $30 million a year just to keep it open.
Did you say $30 million
$30 million a year just to keep it open.
Whoa.
And it's open with nothing going on. Now, if we had Hawaiian entertainers, if we had entertainers in general in our entertainment center, it would be wonderful for the state of Hawaii. One of the reasons that I've been supporting entertainment center and a casino is I've seen what that can happen around the rest of the United States. You know, all sorts of places around the United States where you've got this sort of entertainment, you also, you know, like casinos, you also then bring in entertainment. In fact, speaking of statistics and figures and studies, if you look at the studies that have been done on this, well over half, almost 60% of people who go to casinos, they don't go there to gamble. They go there for the entertainment.
I just saw Cher,
you know,
There
in
you go.
Vegas, and it's
Was that a
something
good show?
special.
Was that a
Yeah.
great
It was
show?
a great show.
It's hard to
fantastic
believe
show.
that she's like our age. Don't you think so?
Yeah, she's a little older than us.
Oh, okay.
she's older than you.
Once again, thank you for joining us. You're listening to us. We are Citizens for a Better Way. We try to give you some information on some alternatives to finding the necessary money to run our city, run our state, make it a better place to live, work, and play. I mean, it's no secret we're paying more for everything, folks. We're paying more for electricity. We're paying more for 70% maybe more for water. We're paying more to ride a bus. We're paying more to just get the basics. I mean, have you shopped at a grocery store in the last 3 weeks? Have you noticed that a half a gallon of milk can cost you $9? And so these are the things that are facing us. And so Citizens for a Better Way got together and said, there's got to be a better way that we can afford to stay and afford Hawaii. And one of the ideas that we came up with was, if somebody is willing out there, and we're not sure that they are, but if there's someone out there that is willing to provide us, oh, you know, I just noticed that my mic slipped off, so I'm going to do live television and put this
Jeff, no
back
matter what,
on.
your voice sounds
I'm
fantastic.
going to slide that back up there so you can hear me better. Sorry for the audio trouble there, guys. But, you know, Citizens for a Better Way, we firmly believe that if someone is willing to step up to the plate and write us a check, that's right, us, because you and I, we are the state of Hawaii. Write us a check for $200 million maybe, or $150 million, and then you get the license to build one, and only one, and, you know, now we make you put in a whole level or a center for entertainment that can spotlight Hawaii's entertainers. How can we not be for this idea? Huh, John?
Let me point out also, Jeff, that we're talking about jobs. Not only are we talking about jobs for our entertainers in our state, but we're also talking about jobs for everybody that would support that. And we're looking at 3,000 new jobs in Waikiki that would go for this entertainment center and casino.
And this is like no hotel, right?
That's no hotel.
No,
Right.
no
That's
hotel.
no hotel.
So all the hotels.
All the hotels would benefit because they would then get part of the thing. So, you know, one of the things we wanted to do was to raise everybody's boat. You know, so everybody would do better, and the hotels would do better, the entertainers would do better, people would have jobs, and tourists would have a place to go.
Yeah, and you get the opportunity by listening to this program, watching this program, to make your own choice, to really look at it. What do we really understand about this issue? And now it seems like we're getting information that I know many people out there don't have.
Yeah, well, you know, and just focusing on the entertainment side, Kimo, you know, again, we are citizensforabetterway.com. You can find all kinds of information on our website, citizensforabetterway.com. But, you know, going back to the entertainment, since I have you in the studio, I want to take advantage of this. And, you know, I mentioned to my wife that I would be talking to you, and she said, well, this is kind of cool. Let's get some real information. You know, we were at a local establishment not too long ago, and they have kind of like a hall of fame of Hawaii entertainers and performers, and there was a picture of you on the wall that when you were like 10 or 11 years old. I mean, and she remarked, my gosh, I had no idea he's been an entertainer for that long. When did you begin entertaining?
Well, I began entertainment right out of high school. So I went to Japan with Walter Molkini. He's the guy that brought me into the business, did fire knife dancing, came back to Hawaii, went to Europe, came back to Hawaii, thought I was going to be an actor, and I applied all of the acting skills to Hawaii. And then 5-0 came to Hawaii in 1968, and there was Jack Lord, all dressed up like Stony Burke. I didn't know he was going to come and be McGarrett, and he did, and it became very, very successful.
By the way, my wife suggested you play the role of the new governor in Hawaii 5-0.
That's what I say. What's up with this?
Yes.
Where are you
I'm for
guys
that
going?
too.
I'm a natural governor. What do you want? I'll give it to you. Just make me governor.
You just can't use the line "book 'em," right? Or
Oh,
something like
yeah,
that.
none of that stuff. But it was a real interesting time. So everything was exploding. Don Ho, the major showrooms, Hawaii 5-0, Magnum PI following after that. A lot of television has hit the islands. And look, we have 5-0 back. We have Branscombe Richmond with The River. He just is shooting. I just saw him a couple of nights ago. And many other people who have been able to entertain. One young lady from Hawaii went to LA, was there for 9 years, came back. Now she's working in television here. It's great that we have all of these venues. But to complement that, it would seem like even in these tough times for the economy, that we can help ourselves.
Yeah, if we had a strategic venue for island entertainers to be showcased, there's no question in my mind that the local public would not return and support the local entertainers. You know, it's not just the person on stage that gets a great job. Right. It's the sound guy behind, you know, who's trying to give me a signal that my mic was down.
Right.
It's the person operating lights. And, you know, there's so many facets to entertainment that create good, high-paying jobs, year-round jobs, at a time when our unemployment is 6% and above. Just, you know, like we say in our name, man, we're citizens for a better way. This is about finding a better way to live here, work, and play in Hawaii.
You know, let me point out that our schools are turning out kids nowadays who can do these kinds of things. So we got kids who are, you know, in school who are taking, you know, classes and so forth, and how to operate cameras and how to put on shows and so forth like that, and they're really getting a good education. But there's nothing for them to do afterwards. We've got a film institute at the University of Hawaii, but not enough film. We could have a far broader entertainment industry, as Kimo has pointed out, if we would just be given the opportunity to do that. And this provides us with that opportunity. This provides us with that kind of a venue to do something right now.
And you know, the support of a place like Walker Hill in Korea. There's a one casino. You got to have a passport in order to get in. It helps the economy of Korea. It's been very, very successful over the years. And we're talking about basically a very similar venue, aren't we?
Yes, yes.
Right.
The idea, and you know, one of the things that Citizens for a Better Way.com is working hard on is an educational process so that the citizens out there can actually make an informed choice. You know, you can go to our website, you can sign up, you can help us out. This is truly a grassroots movement that is growing by the week and by the day. Yeah. And you know, we're just fed up with it. I mean, we're just tired of all these increases in cost, and we just need to start thinking outside the box.
Jeff, Citizens for a Better Way is now getting about 1,000 hits a day.
Wow.
A day. So we're really fast becoming a place that people are coming to for information. They want to know what's going on in Hawaii. Many of those 1,000 hits a day we're getting are from tourists who are looking for something to do in Waikiki. So they
wow.
so they come to our way. Oh, so you don't have it yet, right? You know, no, we don't have it yet. So, but we're trying.
Now, what about in other places? Like you talked about the nation and how many gambling facilities there are. Yeah?
Thank you. There are 11,209 casinos and gambling places in the United States. 48 states have gambling. The only two states that don't have any form of gambling are Utah and Hawaii. Now, I want to point out that Utah is surrounded by 5 states. All 5 of those states does have they do have casinos. In fact, there are about 280 casinos within driving distance of the people of Utah, whereas people of our state have to travel.
We have water. We have ocean.
They got to travel 2,600 miles just to get to land.
Yeah.
Well, and you know,
so
if we could circle the wagons here for a second, I just love the fact that we're talking with the talented Kimo today. Now, Kimo, I would be remiss if I didn't mention also.
I've never been more talented than today. By the way.
You know, I would be remiss if I didn't mention your very, very successful, highly rated, most listened to radio career. I mean, for years you were like one of the top rated persons on KSSK and other radio stations throughout Hawaii, and you've done more for advancing communication on the radio, you know, industry. So I wanted to congratulate you on that. I thought you had a phenomenal run with KSSK, one of the top-rated radio shows, and you know, you did a lot and have done a lot and continue to do a lot for the island entertainment scene, getting performers hired. And I think performers need to recognize that to get hired, you need 3 things. Number 1, you need venues to have these events. I mean, like you said, the hotels used to have dedicated showrooms. They all, you know, that's turned out to be too costly a piece of real estate for them, so they've all shut them down.
Yes.
It's not that the entertainer didn't perform, it's that the cost of real estate is so high that they can't have a venue. And so I was disappointed when I went recently into Waikiki for Jerry Santos' 60th birthday, and he's playing in a lobby. You know, I mean, it's like, give me a break, you know, so, you know, we got to do something about this.
So we've got a real, if I could just jump in.
Please.
We've got a real problem with our own entertainers not having a venue to be heard. And then we've got a problem with the people who come here. About 80% of them would like to have some form of gaming and some sort of entertainment associated with that gaming, of course. And then we have the problem of millions of people flying over Hawaii, going from, for example, Asia to the mainland United States for the purposes of doing on their vacations, and then they can get all of that right there, and then they might stop back in Hawaii briefly to go to Waikiki or something. But that's kind of what they stop in Hawaii for, just a couple of days to rest, and then they head on back home. We need to make Hawaii the center again for entertainment, particularly for Hawaiian entertainment in our state. Boy,
and what about with China becoming so? I mean, if we look at the Pacific Basin, folks, if you look at the Pacific Basin, this is a major area. You cannot ignore the fact that China is going to be so dominant for the next 20 years. China, Japan, Korea, Australia is huge, New Zealand, then the Pacific Islands and the West Coast, and South America, South America. There are so many venues. We don't know where something else is going to evolve and happen, but we must stand able to compete with.
All of those venues, all of those surrounding places, they already have gaming. They already have casinos. So that, you know, if somebody's going to come from China, they can go to Singapore, of course. They can go to Australia. They can go to all over, you know.
And they love to gamble.
Of course they love to gamble.
Well, and of course, the one component that we always, you know, just barely ever mention in any of our shows when we pass out information is Hawaii. Hawaii's residents make over 500,000 trips a year to Las Vegas.
Isn't that amazing?
500,000 trips a year. And that's, you know, that's money leaving our community. You know,
let me raise my hand.
You know,
let me raise my hand. Be one of those people that raise their hands.
I'm one too. I go too.
You know, so now it's not to say that we would replace that. We would just be an alternative. We would be an option. But, you know, ultimately, what we need to do is recognize that this is a better way. And you folks out there who are watching this or may have just joined us, you flipped through the channels and you found us. We're Citizens for a Better Way, a group of individuals who got together and said enough is enough is enough. No more tax increases without a discussion. No more just automatically ripping the money right out of my wallet and my paycheck. No more raising the amount of money I got to pay for my medical insurance just because I'm a state worker. No more raising my water bill 70% just because you say the pipes are broken. You know what? We need to think outside the box. And if someone wants to write us, the citizens of Hawaii, a check for up to $200 million for the right to own a license to build a single casino in Waikiki, then let's at least discuss the idea. And John Radcliffe joining me, and of course my good friend Kimo joining us in our show today. You know, we got a few minutes left, guys. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, I'd like to point out that local folks, the folks that live here, our people, us, we spend $1 billion a year, every year, in casinos on the mainland United States. $1 billion a year. All of that money leaves Hawaii, and we can't use it at all. So we put essentially $1 billion into the Nevada economy. Now, with the multiplier effect that is there for economics, that adds about $3.6 billion to the Nevada economy and doesn't do a darn thing for us. We've got to start looking at taking care of ourselves and looking at taking care of our own. Of course, not everyone who goes to Nevada to gamble or to be entertained is going to necessarily stay home. But some would rather go to Waikiki, I think, that 5 or 6 mile trip or 7 mile trip, as opposed to taking a 3,000-mile trip.
Well, even if you're a 4-time a year traveler, you might make 3.
Maybe.
You know, and then maybe 2. And if you have a great time, I just like the idea that we can create an entertainment center as part of this complex. And I find that very exciting that I could be driving down the street of Waikiki. Imagine that, driving into Waikiki, because you've got parking for me there and you've got great local entertainment that's on the marquee. Now that's something I would do.
And you have the opportunity to go to that beautiful place. It's going to be first class. It's not going to be anything less than one would want as far as the quality product. And that's very, very important. The other thing is this. The people out there, you have to make the decision. You have to decide. We want you to decide. We want you to get more information. And you can go to the website and be able to do that. You, by making that decision and by understanding what it is, people are going to travel all over the world. It's all going to be good. They can travel to the mainland, travel to Vegas, but at the same time, we have an opportunity to step up.
People should talk to their legislators about this. You know, the legislative session will be coming in January, and people should start to talk about that with their legislators. It's very important because I'll tell you frankly, the legislators are not going to move. They're just not going to move until the people of Hawaii say, we'd like you to move. Because if they continue going the way they're going right now, they'll just stay on that same track. And we'll have a situation which will be much different than the way we started this show. When you were talking, Kimo, about entertainment used to be an amenity as to come to Hawaii. And when I used to go to the shows in the 70s and so forth in Hawaii and cry because I used to love that stuff so much. And what if those entertainers had never been given that opportunity? What then? We would have never had a renaissance. We would have never had the kinds of things that we can look back on today and say those were the golden years. The golden years have been passed. We need golden years tomorrow. We need to have more of that tomorrow.
So we need to, as I thank our special guest, Kimo, for joining us, I have one last question for you. Can you teach John and me how to knife dance?
Oh, of course. We'll go to the World Championships of Fire Knife Dancing at Laie, and I'm sure we have guys who will hand you the knife, twirl it around, the fire will be all over. Trust me, it takes a special skill to be able to do that. And aloha to all of our Samoan cousins who are here in the islands to speak to that pride and that dance. But it is a part of the mixture of Hawaii. We're so many different kinds of people. Hawaii is unlike any place else in the world. And if you have the opportunity to make a difference, to be a part of stepping up in Hawaii, look at this from an objective point of view. Think about it. And you will realize that we can step up, we can move forward.
Thank you
we can
so
give
much,
jobs,
my friend. We're out of time.
We give entertainment.
We could go a whole nother show.
Good job.
We're out of time. I want to thank
good job.
Kimo. I want to thank John. We are citizensforabetterway.com. Until the next time we meet, like I always say, spread the aloha.